Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com, and we're here today with lesson number 5 in our incredible new tutorial series where you're learning how to do 3D graphics and 3D animations in Python. What I'm going to need you to do is go ahead and pour yourself a nice strong glass of black coffee. That is straight up hot black coffee, no sugar, no sweeteners, none needed. That's your goat juice. Go get you some. I am also going to need you to fire up your most excellent Visual Studio Code. And as you're doing that, as always, I want to give a shout out to you guys who are helping me out over at Patreon. It is your encouragement and your support that keeps this great content coming. You guys that are not helping out yet, look in the description down below. There is a link over to my Patreon account. Think about hopping on over there and hooking a brother up. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's jump in and let's talk about what we are going to learn today. What we are going to do is we are going to look at the homework assignment that I gave you in lesson number 4, and then I'm going to show you my solution. So first of all, I want to ask you, how many of you guys out there are legend? If you got it done, put a comment in the link in the comment section down below saying I am legend, or let me know that you in fact folded up like a cheap Walmart lawn chair. Okay, now the reason it's so important for you guys to work on this on your own, it looks easy when you're watching me do it, but you got to see how to think through it when you're not sitting there watching me, because I'm not going to be here forever. One day you're going to have to do something without me sitting here showing you how to do it. So I want to show you how I think. I want you to learn how I look at things, how to think like an engineer, but then the day comes you've got to start thinking like that. Now, even if you fold it up like a lawn chair and couldn't make it work, if you struggle with something for a few hours and then see how it works, you actually learn, because you see, oh yeah, that's where I got hung, and the solution I tried was this, but the better solution was this. Then actual learning occurs. Okay, but enough of this jabberwocky talking. Let's go and let's look at what we were going to do. Now, I want us to start at the exact same spot, or with the exact same set of code, and you might have kind of developed the code on your own, but as far as I want us to start with the same code, and you can get the code that I am using if you go over to the most excellent, if I can switch over there, the most excellent www.toptechboy.com, and if you search on, is this the right one? Let's see. Yeah, this is right. Okay, this is, you want to search on, I'm sorry for that little brain glitch there. We're on lesson 5 today. This is the where we start is the code from lesson 4. So you go to the most excellent www.toptechboy.com. You search on Python 3D graphic lesson 4, and then you'll come down here, and this is the code that we ended up with on the end of lesson 4. You can click here to copy it. You select it, right mouse click copy, and then you can come back over here to your most excellent Visual Studio Code, and then you will come to your little thing here, and I better get out of your way before you guys start yelling at me. I don't know if you could see. I'll just show you again there. You click here to select, and then right mouse click and copy. Okay, in case my gargantuan noggin was in your way, you now saw it. Okay, then we come over and we are working in our most excellent vPython folder, and we're going to create a new file which we're going to call bounce 3D, because initially we had a 3D room, but we were only bouncing in 1D, and then .py, and the .py is kind of important, and boom, we've got ourselves a fresh new Python program just waiting to be written. We're going to paste where we stopped last time, and that is this, and we're going to run it just to make sure I didn't break anything in all of that. Boom, look at that. Bouncing off the wall. Now let's look and make sure that the edge of the ball is bouncing off the edge of the wall. Boom, perfect. Okay, so this is working. This is, as we've talked about in the earlier lessons, a parameterized model. So everything is in terms of wall thickness, room width, room depth, room height, and marble radius. And the position of the walls is defined by the size of the other walls. So it is a fully and elegantly parameterized model. All right, but now what do we need to keep track of? Okay, the room isn't going to change. We're going to be bouncing in 3D. We don't have any new parameters here. We don't have any new parameters. The room is still the room. The marble is still the marble. But where do we come up? Well, we are going to be moving in 3 directions. And so we're not just going to have a delta x. We are going to be delta, right? This is the amount that I jump in x each step. I'm also going to be jumping in y. So I'm going to have a delta y is 0.1, and I am going to have a delta z is equal to 0.1. Okay, now I started with an x position of 0, right? Well, I'm also now going to need another variable. It's not a new parameter, it's a new variable, because I'm not just going to be moving in x, I am also going to be having a y position. And we don't have to start in y in the same spot as x. We don't have to start exactly in the middle of the room. So I might say that y position is 1, and I'm going to go x, y, z, and I'm going to leave a little space there. I'm going to try to be very organized in this. So I have x position, I have y position is equal to, let's just say 1. This is just where you're starting, and then let's say z position is equal to, let's say, -2, just for fun. I better go -1. I don't want to go too far off there. Okay, so now I can track that ball in 3 dimensions because I have a position in x and an increment in x. I have a position in y and an increment in y. I have a position in z and an increment in z. Isn't that neat? Okay, and so now look at this. I have x position is x position plus delta x. Well, what else do you think I should have? Do you guys see this yet? Do you see how this is going to be? Do you see how this is coming down? Y position is equal to y position plus what? Delta y. See what's happening here? Can you guess? Z position is equal to z position plus delta z. All right, boom. Look at that. It's looking kind of good. All right, so now I have x right marble edge and x left marble edge. Well, now that is for hitting the left wall or hitting the right wall. What else do I need to know about that marble? I need to know its top edge, its bottom edge, its front edge, and its back edge, because those are going to be needed when I bounce off the other walls. And so let's think about that, and let's be very careful. So the x, R was right, x, or let's see, right marble edge, left marble edge. I think I can still just call this, I will call it y, because now we are working in y, and so the y is up and down. So I would have y, and I would have top marble edge, and then I would have y, and I would have bottom marble edge, because in x I want the right marble edge and the left marble edge. In y I want the top marble edge and the bottom marble edge. And then in z I want the back marble edge and I want the z front marble edge. Okay, so I've got the front marble edge, I've got the back marble edge, I've got the top marble edge, front marble edge, back marble edge, top marble edge, bottom marble edge, right marble edge, left marble edge. And you might be thinking, I don't know, it might be backwards because you're looking at facing me, but my right and left in all those. Okay, so now the top is going to be equal to what? The top of the marble, where is it going to be? Well, it's going to be its y position. Okay, it's going to be its y position plus m radius. Now, why is it the radius and not the radius divided by 2? Because the radius already it's half the diameter is the radius. So the radius is conveniently what we already want. Okay, the y position of the bottom marble edge is going to be its overall y position of the center, and then minus the radius. Right? Because if this is the center of the marble, the bottom edge would be down here at the y position minus. All right? And here we are going to have z position. We want the back marble edge, and so that is going to be, and I'm going to think here about front and back. X, Y, Z. Z is coming out of the page towards me, and so positive Z is towards me. And so the back would be minus m radius. And then the front is going to be equal to z positioned. It's z position. And then it is plus z position plus m radius. Okay? Does that make sense? So now we know the top, the bottom, the left, the right, and the front and back of the marble as it is moving around in 3 dimensions. And I better have me a little go juice here, because I think we're fixing to get to the real meat and potatoes of this. Okay, so now what do I need? I need to keep track of where the edges are of the room. So I have the right wall edge and I have the left wall edge. Okay, and then I'm going to say I've got the ceiling, we'll just call it ceiling wall edge. Okay, and then I have the ceiling wall edge, and I have the floor wall edge. Okay, and then I have the back wall edge, and then I have the front wall edge, like that. So I think it's kind of good to define the, I think it's good to sort of define the edges, the parameter space, define the variables before you start figuring out what it is. Okay, the ceiling is in the positive y direction. The ceiling is in the positive y direction, and what did we call that? We called that room height. So this would be room height divided by 2, okay, and then we need to subtract it because we don't want the center, we want the bottom edge. And so that is going to be minus our old friend wall thickness. And I'm kind of using the autocomplete there just so I don't make a typo here. This is not a place you want to be making typos, ladies and gentlemen. And so then that is the ceiling wall edge. The floor wall edge is going to be room height divided by 2. And then this is the center of the floor, and you got to come up a little bit to get the edge of the floor. So you would go plus our old friend wall thickness divided by 2. Okay, now the back wall edge, which is into the screen, the back wall edge would be what? We called that the room depth. Okay, so that would be room depth, and the back wall edge is in the negative direction. The back wall edge is into the screen. That is the negative direction. That would be minus room depth divided by 2. Okay, that would be the minus room depth divided by 2. And then we would add, because we want to come back a little bit, wall thickness divided by 2. And then the front, this is coming out of the screen, the front wall edge is going to be room depth divided by 2. plus wall thickness divided by 2. So let's check. No, that would be minus, right? Because we come out. Man, I am making some problems here. Divided by 2, right? And then minus. Okay, so when this is positive, this is negative. When this is negative, this is positive. And am I doing this right? So if I think that I probably made a mistake. So the the right wall edge, I need to come back by 2. The left wall edge is in the negative direction, and then I need to come back, divide by 2. And then the ceiling is up here, and then I need to subtract a little, and then the floor is minus room height. The floor is down, and then I come back a little bit. So if I have plus, it's minus. If I have minus, it's plus. If I have plus, it's minus. If I have minus, it's plus. Minus is plus, and plus is minus. So I think those are all self-consistent. I am so sorry here, but I need to just respond to something very quickly. Okay, so I think that that is looking pretty good. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm figuring out if I have hit the top wall, or I'm figuring out if I have hit the bottom wall. Okay, so here, I'm figuring out if I have hit if the marble has hit the right wall, or if the marble has hit the left wall. Well, I need to kind of check that in all dimensions, right? And so I'm going to come up here, and let's see, we're going to put a space here, and then I'm just going to take this, and man, this is where you've really got to think when you're copying and pasting and be very careful. And so I'm going to adjust those for the other 2 dimensions. Okay, and so this one works, right? So this is the X of the marble edge. I keep forgetting what that R is. That is the right marble edge, okay, and left marble edge. So this is the left marble, this is the right marble edge and the left marble edge. So here we need to go, and so this is the right marble edge and the left marble edge. Now we need to do the top marble edge, Y top marble edge. So this is going to be Y top marble edge. And we're going to see if that is greater than or equal to the ceiling wall edge, CWE, I do believe. So this would be ceiling wall edge. So I'm seeing, does the top of the marble hit the ceiling wall edge? Now over here, this is going to be the Y, this is going to be looking to see if I have hit the floor, okay? And so on the floor, I am going to be looking at the Y bottom marble edge, and let's make sure that that's the thing. Yeah, Y bottom marble edge. And I'm going to see if the Y bottom marble edge is hitting the floor edge. So that would be the floor wall edge. Floor wall edge. Man, you better have a double cup of coffee to be thinking through this, because it would be so easy to think this wrong. And I probably am making a mistake here, and you guys are probably seeing it and screaming at me. Now, in this one, we're not incrementing, we're not going in X, we are going in what? In Y. And so this one is going to be looking at changing the Y direction. Okay, and let's look here. Did we do the, yeah, we have X position is X position plus delta X. Y position is Y position. Okay, so we're keeping track of X, Y, and Z positions. That's good. And then delta X is going to switch. Delta Y is going to switch. And now this is going to be the front and the back. And the front is the one coming out of the screen, and the back is the one back in the screen. And so here we are going to be looking at the front marble edge. And so what would that be? That would be Z. Okay, and we want the Z, and I don't think this is the Z front marble edge, and this is the Z back marble edge. Okay, so the Z front marble edge, the Z front marble edge is greater than or equal to, now we got to figure out the front wall. What did we call the front wall? The front wall edge. This is the front wall edge. Okay, and then this is the back wall edge over here. This is the back wall edge, and now this is the Z front marble edge. Z front marble edge, and then we're going to do the Z back marble edge. And so this is going to be the Z back marble edge. So we're seeing if the front edge of the marble has hit the front wall, or if the back marble edge has hit the back wall edge. Oh man. Is there any hope that this thing could possibly work? I'm going to just break down and cry because I don't want to have to debug this thing. Now, if I just typed in something that doesn't exist, we should be able to find that. We should be able to find that if it just doesn't exist. Okay, and then we go ahead and we put, okay, so we are going to come and we are going to put marble position is the vector. Okay, now look at this. We got to update this not just to X position, right? Because now we are moving in all directions. So we've got to put the new X position, the new Y position, and the new Z position. I'm glad I saw that, or it would have just gone back and forth and I would have started crying. I have never, in the hundreds of videos that I've made, ever actually broken down and cried in the middle of it, but you might see that for the first time here. We're going to run this thing. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that is doing something. Oh, and we have a jailbreak, man. We have a jailbreak. We've got a wobbling star on our hands. Oh man, what happened? Okay, so that I'm going to look up here. Okay, X position is X position plus delta X. That makes sense. Y position is Y position plus delta Y. Z position is Z position plus delta Z. And those are set. I have delta X, I have delta Y, I have delta Z. They should all be moving. But it looks like one of them is just kind of going back and forth. And so as it was going up, let's see if Z so I've got to check these. If it's plus on the right wall edge, I need to subtract. If it's minus, I need to add. Okay, and then if it's here, it's plus minus, minus plus. And then the back wall edge, is the minus room depth. So I've got width, height, depth, and then plus minus. That sure looks right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off, it seemed to be the Z wasn't working, so I'm just going to turn that off just to see if it's working in the other dimensions, but it kind of jailbroke out this way. And so let's just see if these two are working. We're going to do some real-time debugging here, and this is not an easy one because one little mistake. Okay, I'm just not. What did I break, man? What did I break? Okay, let's come back over here and let's turn Y off. Okay, let's turn X off and let's turn Y off, and let's just see if the X still works, if the X by itself still works. Oh, I think I saw something. I think I saw something. Were you guys screaming at me? I think I saw something. Okay, this is delta x is delta x times 0.1. Delta y is delta y times -1. Delta z. Delta z. So that's one error, but man, I can't believe that that would have caused all that. So let's come and look. Okay, I think we have the X working. We got a stop that. We got a crazy graphic going there. Okay, boom, that one works. Okay, guys, you don't know how closely I almost started crying there. And so now let's go Y position, and let's run that. Let's see, now we're going to be going X and Y, so it should be going up and down. Okay, and that is, the Y is not happy. Okay, so let's go see, figure out why that Y position is not happy. And so I have delta Y is delta Y times, okay. Now I have the Y, if the Y top marble edge, if the Y top marble edge is greater than or equal to, I guess I should say less than or equal to here. I guess I should be consistent there. That is not going to cause the problem. But if the Y top marble edge is Y position plus the radius. If the Y top marble edge is greater than or equal to the ceiling wall edge. Ceiling wall edge is height divided by 2 minus wall thickness. Man, that sure looks right. Or Y bottom marble edge, Y bottom marble edge is less than or equal to, if the Y bottom marble edge is less than or equal to the floor wall edge. The floor wall edge is minus height divided by 2 plus wall thickness divided by 2. And so now I've just got to make sure that that Y bottom marble edge is Y position minus. Man, that looks right. And then I have Y position is Y position plus delta Y. Y position is 1. Let's start all these at 0 just so we don't get too fancy, and then we can come back and figure out what is not working. This is perplexing. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see what my error is? So it's bouncing back and forth in a very unhappy way in the up and down. So it's like every time it's changing direction. So it's like every time this delta y is equal to delta y times -1. Every time y top marble edge is greater than or equal to the ceiling wall edge. So I've got width, width, height, height, depth, depth. The other thing would be if I misspelled something in here, that could do it as well. But let's see if we can turn that one off, and let's just see if we can turn Z back on and say Z position. Let's see if Z is working. Because man, if I've got both of these things broken, that's going to be very sad. Okay, boom, look at that, guys. Look at that. It is working in 2 dimensions. Okay, do you see that it's working in 2 dimensions? What did I do wrong and why? What did I do wrong and why? Oh my goodness, I'm going to start crying. We are so close. So I've got Z. So Z is working. So I have Z front marble edge. And here I've got Y top marble edge. And the Z front marble edge I am comparing to the front wall edge. And then here, okay, let me just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in. Okay, I'm going to put Y position back in. And I'm going to see if I can even just like go in one direction. So I'm going to copy this whole line so I can put it back, but I'm going to take off this first part to see if that's where the problem was. Okay, so I'm going to take off that front part and let's run it again. Okay, it's not the front part because still the Y isn't working. The Y is just going back and forth. Okay, so let me put this back in. And now let me take off this part and just see if that part is working. What is wrong with you, you crazy thing? Do you guys get tired of watching an old man try to figure out why his code isn't working? Stop, you aggravating thing. Now come on, run. What did that not like? Somehow I broke it. And what I did there. Oh, this if should be tabbed over. Sorry. All right. Now we'll run at least. Okay, so that part worked. So now we saw it bounced off the top, right? And then it jailbroke. Okay, it jailbroke, but it bounced off the top. Okay, it bounced off the top. And so what we need to do is we need to come back to our code, and it bounced off the top. So now what we need to say is we need to say or if the Y, and this was the top marble edge, we need to go to the Y. Oh, look at this. I said this twice. What did I? Y bottom marble edge. No, Y bottom marble edge. If Y bottom marble edge, and then this one needs to be less than or equal to, okay, if it's less than or equal to, this is the bottom marble edge, I need to compare that to the floor, right? The floor wall edge. Oh, you know what? I did FWE twice. I did FWE twice. The floor, this is the floor wall edge, and this is the the front wall edge. So this needs to be floor. Oh my goodness, that was a hard one. Floor wall edge, and that is going to be the one that we do here, which is going to be floor wall edge. Okay. Man, did you guys catch it when I used the same variable name twice? And so I'm sorry that I put you through 10 minutes of misery. I'm sorry that I put you through 10 minutes of misery, but I want you to see one of the things. I didn't make that mistake on purpose, but you saw me decode a really, really hard thing. And so kind of like I don't feel too bad because you learned how to troubleshoot a little bit. I think this is going to work, guys. Okay, I need everyone to hold their breath this time for sure. Oh. Bounce, 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 bounce. Yes! Who's your huckleberry? I'm your huckleberry. Did you see that? Look at that. This thing is bouncing around. All right, guys, we have this thing working. Okay, let's play around with this now. Okay, let's say that we have a really thin wall. Let's say that our wall, we're going to just change our parameters up here. The radius is going to be 0.5, and the wall thickness is going to be 0.1, and then it is going to be a width of 12, and it is going to be a depth of 20, and it is going to be a height of 2. So crazy size room. Let's just see if this will work. Here we go. Maybe I didn't kill it before. Here we go. Crazy size room, and look at it go, man. Look at it go. And no jailbreaks. No jailbreaks. Look at that. It is in fact working. Look at that. All right, guys. Okay, so let's see then. Let me think about what we are going to be doing next here. I think that I think what I'll do is I will just be sort of going through a new topic next week. And so you guys just make sure you understand this, make sure you can do this on your own, kind of get it where you can really do these parameterized models. And then we're going to be looking at some new stuff for next week. And so I was thinking about giving you an assignment to have like 3 balls bouncing around, and you could kind of do it, but it'd just be really tedious because you're going to have to create, the room's going to be the same, but then you're going to, and these floors and those are going to be the same, but you'd have to have kind of like a marble 1, marble 2, marble 3, and then you would have to have like an X pos 1, Y pos 1, Z pos 1 for marble 1, marble 1. So I think that it would be pretty straightforward to do. You would just kind of replace this with indexes of 1, 2, 3 for the 3 marbles, but I think that would be a little tedious in the end. So we will be moving on to a new topic next week. Okay, guys, this is Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com. I hope you're enjoying taking these lessons as much as I'm enjoying making them. And also, if you enjoy the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and then also share this on your social media. We need more people coding and fewer people sitting around watching silly cat videos. Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later.